Shalom. All praises, all power, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. All honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach one Ruel, who taught me this truth, peace, and salutations and blessings to the Akyam, fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth that rich get on ice throughout the four corners of the earth. To the Akwat, listening and learning in sincerity and in truth and in silence, Shalom. It's your brother Shema from the GMS Toronto camp here in Toronto. Here with another lesson, right? And a quick hit, nothing too long, using prophecy, right? But another example of Esau, Edomite pride, right? They're proud, they're very proud, right? And this statement made by Nero 47, is an example of his pride. It says here from CNBC News, March 8th, 2026, oil prices decline after nearly hitting $120 a barrel, as Trump says, U.S. considering taking over the Strait of Hormuz, right? Now, we know all wars are bankers' wars, right? But that's a bold statement because I asked Chat who controls the Strait of Hormuz, right? It said it's not controlled by a single country, right? But it's bordered by Iran and Oman. Its territorial waters. Each country, being Iran and Oman, controls the waters up to 12 nautical miles from its coastline, right? But the key point here, it says it's under international law. Right, meaning ships from any country can pass, right? So then I said, Trump recently said the U.S. wants to take control of it. So it gave me a breakdown of what taking control would mean, right? Stationing by the U.S. Navy forces in and around the strait, escorting oil tankers and cargo ships, attacking Iranian forces if they tried to block it, establishing military dominance over the waterway, right? So this goes into their pride, right? So this is a task that will not be easy, and it will consume resources, military resources. Let's get a scripture. Psalms 49. Right, these Edomites, they're at the end, right? It says in 2nd Ezra 9, Second Ezra 6 and 9, it reads, for Esau is the end of the world, right? Esau, Edom, the Edomites, the so-called white man, right? The ruling class elites, these banking cartels, the banking families, end of the world, right? World, eon, age, a time, right? Esau will be in rulership, the last kingdom to rule, right? We're in their eon, Rome 2.0. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follows, right? So the next kingdom is Jacob, Yasharallah, the Israelites, right? It also says in Psalms 2, Salakia. Two. Psalms 2:1, it reads, why do the heathen rage, right? These other nations. And the people imagine a vain thing, right? Vain being empty. Their imagination is empty, right? The Lord had them in a trick bag. They think they're going to continue forever, right? What's the narrative out here? What's the going talk out here? China got next, right? We just read the scripture. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth after, right? Jacob has next under Yahushai, right? Under King David, under the 12, right? Psalms 49:11. And it reads, their inward thought, right, in their minds, right? Esau, Edom, these elites, is that their houses shall continue forever, right? They think this will never end for them, right? It says in Isaiah 47, Salakia, Isaiah 47. Isaiah 47 and Isaiah 47:7, it reads, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, right? Babylon the Great, America the Great, right? They think they'll never get touched. They think they will be the pinnacle forever. So that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, their mind. Neither didst remember the latter end of it, right? You can't even see your judgment. Right? You're so puffed up. Babylon the Great, America the Great, the hub city of the Edomites, so puffed up with pride. Verse 8, therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, right? America. That dwellest carelessly, right? America. Right? Living deliciously, carelessly, not a care in the world. We have the mightiest, we're the best. Right? They squander. They're wasteful. Right? And they're consumers, big time consumers. Right? They can't, beginning with their elites, beginning with their citizens, the elites, they're sitting, they can't even see, they can't imagine ICBMs raining down on their head top. That says in thine heart, right, their mind, I am and none else beside me. Right, once again, they're proud, right? I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children, right? So they believe they can't be touched, right? Beginning with their leader, the elites, their leader, their puppet leaders, right? But you are going to know the loss of children. Babylon the Great, America the Great. Verse 9, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, right? Scripture say in 1 hour, right? And that's literal, right? The destruction is literal. Right? Yahweh and the angel are going to lay waste to this place. The loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, right? The missiles, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments, right? You've enchanted the whole world. right? The whole world is drunk with your the wine of your fornication, which is your philosophy, your democracy, right? The whole world is drunk with it, right? Hence why you can run around talking what it is, or we're going to take over the strait, right? Listen, that's going to cause more volatility. The Carmenians are not going to roll over and submit easily, right? They're going to push back. Psalm 49:11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names, right? Esau, Edom, man, right? They name places after themselves, right? They believe they can't be touched, right? Their head is in the clouds. They're puffed up, right? Their citizens brag, "Oh, we got the greatest military on earth." Right? Isaiah 34 says, "Their stink." Right? You see, these soldiers, because there will be a draft. These soldiers that get shipped off to the Levant, the Valley of Decision, and the points in 3, Isaiah 34:1, it reads, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies." Right? What we're reading here is the final credits, right? This great war that's coming, right? World War III, right? Which will come after the MOTB is mandated worldwide, right? There's no coming back from this great war that's coming. The death toll, right? There's not going to be a victory parade, televised victory parade. That's not going to happen. For the indignation of the Lord Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Right, all these armies that are going to be gathered down in the Levant, right, the Valley of Decision, they're going to be destroyed. Verse 3, here's the point. Their slain also shall be cast out. Right, their soldiers, their military, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, right? Dead bodies, man. Right? America the Great, Babylon the Great. Their soldiers that are going to get shipped down there, they're going to die. Right? And their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains, right, governments, shall be melted with their blood, right? So there's not going to be a winner, right? None of these nations got necks, right? Our power, Yahweh Bashim Yoshai, they have necks. Verse 4. And it reads, "And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll," right? That's that mushroom cloud, right? Caused by the ICBMs, thermonuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles. "And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf," Salakia, "as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree," right? The missiles. Verse 5, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven," the missiles, the arcing of the missiles, from one end of heaven to the other, from the east to the west. right? The sword of the Lord is the missiles, the arrows. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, right? Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. And the hub city of Edom is America the Great, Babylon the Great. And upon the people of my curse to judgment, the people of my curse, the Edomites, right? Right. There's not going to be none of these heathen nations are going to win what is coming. Esau, Edom's not going to win. The Moabites aren't going to win. Right. God, may God, they're not winning. Right. The Lord Yahweh Shem Shai shall be victorious in that day. Let's close with that. Isaiah 2. Isaiah 2. Isaiah 2 and 11. Isaiah 2 and 10. Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust, for fear of the Lord Yahweh and for the glory of his majesty. Right? Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust, for fear of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai, and for the glory of his majesty. Right? These elites are going to be hiding in bunkers. Right? Verse 11, the lofty looks of man shall be humbled. Right? That pride is going to be humbled. And who's more proud than Esau, Edom? And the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down. And the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yoshai alone shall be exalted in that day, right? The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yoshai alone, right? So none of these nations got necks, right? The pride of Esau, Edom is going to be brought low. He's going to be humbled, right? Right, and righteousness will be enforced via the 144 under Yahweh Shai, under King David, under the 12, right, will be enforced worldwide. The kingdom will be on earth as it is in heaven. So with that, call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashim Yoshai Ba'ashim Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great Muslim who teach one rule well. Shalom to the elect.